Hi, we're out for the day to Dunfermline and we've went into the Abbey. It's free admission at the moment and you can see the stained glass windows and then we'll go through to the Church of Scotland section, which is an active church here in Dunfermline. So we'll take a walk around the Abbey and you can see the stained glass windows. Thank you. This is still in the older section of the building, looking towards the 12th century nave. We'll have a look round the stained glass windows in this section of the building and then proceed to the newer section with the Church of Scotland. They described this pilgrimage, the road to St Andrews. There was always a steady stream of pilgrims who travelled up to the town of St Andrews in search of salvation, healing and adventure. This shaped the landscape of Fife and earned it the nickname the Pilgrim Kingdom. Dunfermline Abbey has a real interesting history. Dating back to 1070. Earlier, King Malcolm III and Queen Margaret had been married in a former church, but apparently the Queen loved Dunfermline so much that she brought up Benedictine monks up from Canterbury. They described Dunfermline Abbey as like the Durham in miniature. I take it the Cathedral of Durham. We'll take a look round the stained glass windows within this section before moving into the Church of Scotland. The first one is the Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus' death and resurrection. As you can see, the colours are very vibrant and clear. It was a lovely day outside, so that all the window was illuminated. So in this one, it's William Wallace, King Malcolm III, Queen Margaret and Robert the Bruce. This one, it's Jesus blessing the children. This one, it's suffer the little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of heaven. The Dawn of a New Age by Douglas Strachan. This is the newer section of the Abbey and looking towards the McLaren window. The McLaren window is broken up into two sections, the Last Supper and the angels announcing that Jesus has risen. So this is the Last Supper with the disciples surrounding Jesus. This is the angels declaring that Jesus is not here, for he is risen. Another Robert the Bruce, this time a general in the British Army. Faith, hope and charity, stained glass windows. This one is faith. Often in Scotland, many wedding services will have, from 1 Corinthians 13, faith, hope and charity. This is a brass plaque of King Robert the Bruce, which is situated under the pulpit here within Dunfermline Abbey. We'll have a closer look at it.
So this is the stone, and it's a lovely red, rich stone with brass. So Robert the Bruce is buried here, and his heart was taken on crusades and then buried at Melrose Abbey in the borders of Scotland.
We've found the plaster cast skull of Robert the Bruce. It's got a date on here of 1818. This is part of the exhibition. I noticed the actual piece of it's on is dated 1603. So they've got a little exhibition at the moment at the church. You can see the different pictures, and they've also got a representation of the half-scale model of what they think was the Robert the Bruce's tomb. I think that looks like marble. I'm not sure what the model is, but it's got some information there. It was done in a 3D laser scanning. As you can see, the little exhibition has a lot of information which we'll obviously read, but it'll be well worth a visit every time.
This is the Bruce window, which was dedicated in 1974. The top depicts Christ Jesus in the centre with significant saints in Scotland, including St Andrew, and the lower section has a picture of Robert the Bruce in the middle with some of the other people who helped him in the Battle of Bannockburn. This is us back outside, and you can see just the front entrance here. So here we see the ruins of the original Benedictine Abbey. Now, this was founded by Queen Margaret in the 11th century. Unfortunately, by 1303, King Edward's troops destroyed a large part of the building as part of the Wars of Independence. But you can come and you can visit. You can walk down into that section that you can see here, and you can see some of those ruins. And there's a lot of royalty, lots of noblemen, and a lot of kings and queens that were buried in the grounds of Dunfermline Abbey and within the church. So there are quite a lot of, the graveyard goes all the way around the church, and you can see right round. So the buildings you see in the distance, that forms part of the lower part of the town. So the abbey is set just at the bottom of the main high street of the town. So where you see that clock and the back of these buildings, that's a lovely town centre that just runs right up a nice high street. So these buildings are all very old, as you can see. This one's lovely and painted up nice and bright red. And as you come round, this is the church that now stands. This is the Church of Scotland. King Robert the Bruce helped to rebuild part of this. So his body was buried here when he died, and at the top, just right round the turret, says King Robert the Bruce. Now this all sits next to a beautiful park in Dunfermline, which is called Pittencrief Park. It's quite a large park, and it's got lovely things in it. It's got a lovely coffee shop, it's got lovely nature trails, quite different sections of the park bring different things. They've got formal gardens, and this is just another picture of the top of the turret which says King Robert the Bruce. So I really hope that you've enjoyed our short journey through this beautiful place. So thanks again for watching today, and I really hope that you can give us a thumbs up and like on this video, as well as subscribing to get notifications of new videos. And you can also become a Patreon if you want to support us in our work, and there's information on how to do that below. So thanks again, bye!